Good evening. It is 7 p.m. on March 17th. I will call this meeting to order. I'm the Vice Chair, Commissioner Galvan, acting as chair today due to one of the chair being currently slightly incapacitated. So we'll go ahead and get started and call this meeting to order. Start with roll call. Commissioner Sani.
Present.
Commissioner Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
You're not here online?
All right. Commissioner Galvan, I am present. Commissioner Anderson.
You're not here?
Commissioner Anderson is not present. Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Welcome. Hope you're feeling better. And Commissioner Headland. Great. We have 5 commissioners present, and we have quorum, so we'll call this meeting to order. We'll move on to public comment. So this is for folks who are online or in person. We'll start with folks who are in person. We'll give each person 2 minutes to discuss or bring any comment to the commissioners that are here. And we'll give approximately 10 minutes total for everything, but we'll make sure everyone gets a chance to talk if they have something specific that they would like to chat about. After all of the public has had an opportunity to comment, we'll then have the opportunity for commissioners to respond to that comment if they choose to do so. So we'll start by opening up to anyone in the room. If you are going to provide some public comment, please just state your name for the record and general area that you live at. You don't have to give your address, and that way we can have it for the record. Maybe the intersection or nearby. So we'll open it up to members of the public in person. It can be on any topic. Seeing none, hearing none. Oh, yes, go ahead, sir.
Zachary Spencer, live on Seton Place Northeast. Today, the commission, thank you, is considering my nomination for the Alcohol and Cannabis Committee. And just want to say thank you. I take that as a great honor. Thank you, Julia, for nominating me, and appreciate it.
Great, welcome, thank you. Any other members of the public here in person? All right, we'll go to any members online. You can use the raise hand function and we will recognize you. Seeing none, we will move right along. And my computer decided to do an automatic update at this particular moment. So if I can ask
The agenda?
yes.
Okay.
One moment. Great. I'll now have the opportunity for any commissioners who would like to respond to the public comments.
We look forward to voting on you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything else? Hearing none, seeing none. All right, we'll move right along to the approval of the agenda. We'll first ask if there are any commissioners who have any changes or late adds to the agenda that would like to be added at this time. Recognize any commissioners?
Do not see any online raising hands.
Okay. Let me see the agenda real quick. Make sure there's nothing. All right, great. We'll do with no additional items on the agenda being proposed. We'll move to an approval of the agenda. I'll just do this by a quick voice vote. All those in favor of the approval of the agenda, please say aye.
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 All those not in favor, please say nay. Hearing none in the ayes of the chair, the agenda is approved. We'll move right along to the approval of the minutes. And Commissioner Sani.
Yes, last week I circulated our agenda from our February 17th meeting, or sorry, minutes. Thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman, for offering some edits to that. I believe I've accepted them all. So yeah, if folks have had a chance to review it and have any additional edits, happy to discuss this here. Otherwise, I move that we approve those minutes.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Sani. Any questions from commissioners? Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
No questions.
No questions. All right, with that, Commissioner Sani moves to the approval of the minutes. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, we'll just do a quick recorded vote for the approval of the minutes. Start with Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, still not present.
Yes, here.
Not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson, still not present. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headlands.
Aye.
All right. As of the chair, we have 5-0. The minutes are approved. Thank you very much, Commissioner Sani. Moving right along. All right, we'll move on to announcements from representatives of elected officials. We have the Mayor's Office of Community Relations, Christian Stargill. Are you on? We will recognize you.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. I was trying to turn my camera on, but I believe something may be wrong with it. So I'll just share the couple updates that I have for you all and take questions as well. So DC Water, as of March 7th, has made an announcement of making significant progress to reinforcement downstream section of the damaged Potomac Interceptor. I have a link for this. If residents are interested, please feel free to read more about that. And you can direct any questions that you have through MOCRS or through your commissioners as well. As far as DPR, the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center annual Blacks in Wax. They have a list of events. I won't go through them because there are a lot. But if you're interested in that, we are encouraging residents to come out, as it is a great couple of events each year. We are and will be hosting the Mayor Bowser Spring Cleanup. There's a tentative date for April 25th, 2026 at a tentative location of Cremel School in 5D. So please be on the lookout for more information pertaining to that. Looking forward to having another great turnout this year. We're getting some community businesses to sponsor and come out and to support this event as well. So definitely look for more information pertaining to that. Thank you to all who came out to support the Her Story 5K and Women's History Month events in general. Upcoming, we have, I think there's a couple more to end out the month. The one that is highlighted is the Trivia and Trailblazers Woman Her Story Social Hour. That'll be on March 26th. And I will submit or drop the links for those who would like to RSVP for that. And please continue to coming and supporting those events. And thank you to all have already. And that's about it. That is to wrap up my announcements. Thank you all for continuing to add me on email chains. If there's anything that I can flag or escalate, please feel free to let me know now.
Great. Thank you so much, Christian. I'll offer questions from commissioners to start and then ask if members of the public have any questions. Commissioners?
let's see.
Yes, Commissioner Jones.
I just had a clarifying question. What was the event? Was it Blacks in Wax?
Yes, it's Blacks and Wax, and I actually can let me see it. I think I just deleted the note that I had the link and information for that. Give me 1 second and I can let you know all about that, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Any other questions from commissioners? All right, moving right along. Any questions from the public, either online or in person? All right. Hearing none, seeing none.
And
Thank you.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
actually, okay, so the annual Blacks and Wax is performances or collaborations through DPR, Recreation Wish List Committee, the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, a collaboration between those. This event celebrates rich history and culture, over 60 prolific iconic American heroes from the world of sports, entertainment, history, politics, and literature. So I believe that this is a series of events just highlighting that for the residents. So that's why we're encouraging people to come out. And I'll definitely include that link as well.
Thank you, Christian.
No problem.
Great. That's all we have, Christian. Short and sweet. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me on. If anything else comes up, I'll be on. But also feel free to shoot me an email as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, moving right along to Ward 5 office, Councilmember Zachary Parker. Mr. Connor Shaw, is that who's?
Good evening,
sure.
everybody. It's not Connor or Oliver. My name
All
is
right.
Brianna Lovelace. I am a constituent service coordinator. I don't usually cover this area, but I'm filling in for Connor and Oliver, who have other responsibilities tonight.
Great.
So
Well,
I'll be giving out the updates. First, Councilmember Parker just sent his fiscal year 27 budget letter to Mayor Bowser last week. It details 3 priority areas: anti-poverty investments, cutting wasteful spending and inefficiencies, and investing in critical projects for Ward 5 facilities, businesses, youth, and seniors. I advise you all to go to our website and check out his letter there. Following the approval of the sale of Providence Hospital site in Ward 5 last year, residents are now encouraged to nominate experienced community members to serve as trustees of the DC Healthcare Access Trust. This is a $5 million fund created from the sale of the site to support charitable healthcare in DC with a focus on Ward 5. 3 trustees will be selected to manage the funds and advance the trust's charitable purposes. The nominations are due by April 8th, 2026, and to view the required qualifications and complete the nomination form, you can check out our newsletter this Friday. The Office of the Attorney General will also hold 2 public meetings to share information about the DC Healthcare Access Trust trustee nomination process and answer any community questions. The first meeting will be tomorrow, March 18th. This meeting will be virtual from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And then the second meeting will be April 2nd, 2026 in person from 6 to 7:30 at the Lamar Riggs Lillian J. Huff Library. As Councilmember Parker shared in the OAG's press release, he is excited for the Providence redevelopment to continue moving forward, and he is eager to work alongside the selected trustees to deliver on one of the most important promises of the project: access to quality healthcare services. Thank you to everyone who submitted nominations for this year's Ward 5 awards. Our selection panel, which is comprised of last year's award winners, is now working to help decide this year's winners. Be sure to RSVP to attend the Ward 5 award ceremony, which will be on April 1st, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Ivy City Smokehouse. And then lastly, on this Thursday, Harry Thomas Recreation Community Center modernization meeting with DPR will happen. You can learn more on DPR's website. And in Councilmember Parker's budget letter. The specifics that are specific to 5A's area is an additional $5 million towards Harry Thomas project to ensure the project delivers on the community's needs and expectations. Adding shade structures to the Harry Thomas Recreation Center area. Additional funds for the Edgewood Eckington Branch Library in the fiscal 2029 year budget. Adding to the New York Avenue Recreation Center to the capital plan. Advancing bus priority projects along Rhode Island Avenue and Florida Avenue, and more. I'm happy to answer any questions or comments you all have.
Great. We'll start with commissioners. Thank you very much, Ms. Lillis. Commissioner Sani.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. A lot of those items you just named were in our ANC 5F budget support resolution / letter that we sent y'all's way, and we really appreciate the making sure that Harry Thomas moves forward, the Edgewood Eckington Library continues to be developed, and the shade structures, including at Edgewood Rec Center, which I know I've had a lot of my constituents reach out to me about. So just thank you to you and the council member for pushing those forward.
You're welcome. I'll definitely pass it along.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Commissioner Hedlund?
I'll just second that from Commissioner Sani. I really appreciated Councilmember Parker's letter, especially the areas that he identified for cutting from the budget, which I thought sounded really good, and then all the priorities, much of which will be beneficial to our neighborhoods. So thank you.
Welcome.
Any other commissioners? I'll recognize myself for a moment and third all of what they said, and we'll move on. Thank you all for your support.
Got it.
All right. Any questions from the public? Yes.
Hello.
Please identify yourself again.
Yeah. Zachary Spencer here. It's somewhat of a question, but just wanted to voice a growing frustration with the sewage spill that we had earlier this year. There's been recent developments and new lawsuits coming out against DC Water and the impacts to boaters. Where that can be incredibly frustrating is that initial reports are saying that the likelihood of that lawsuit being successful are pretty high, which means that DC taxpayers will ultimately bear the burden of subsidizing boat owners in the Potomac River. Instead of getting the capital improvements that we should have been getting, we're now going to have to be paying out to boat owners. As Mr. Parker does the oversight, we hope that he just continues to, or I ask for his continued pressure on this situation, and it is quite frustrating from our end.
Got it. Thank you. I'll pass this along.
Great. Thank you, Zach. Any other questions from members of the public? Anyone online? Let's see. Nope. Great. Thank you very much, Ms. Loveless, and we'll see you next time.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. All right. We will move on to item 7 on the agenda, which is officer reports. We'll start with Chair Commissioner Bishop Henchman, if you wish.
I have no report other than to thank Commissioner Galvan for chairing this evening while I am at home sick and not spreading it to everybody in the community today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Vice Chair, officer reports, and I thank you for staying home and taking care of yourself. Other than that, I have no official officer reports on my end. Treasurer, Commissioner Hedlund.
Yeah, thanks to Commissioner Sani and Commissioner Bishop Henchman, I am now on the bank account. That's my update.
Do we have an amount for the treasurer's report for our balance right now?
I did not do that.
Okay, that's okay. We can, if you can submit it for the record.
Yes.
That'd be great. Commissioner Sani.
Yeah, it's been a busy month. We've I managed to get Commissioner Bishop Henchman and Commissioner Headland on our bank accounts. They have signing abilities. I think all officers now are on board there. Additionally, we've historically been using MailChimp for our commission-wide mailing list, but we are too successful for our own good, and we exceed the bounds of the saving of the free plan. And so I took that as impetus to move us over to the DC government-provided Gov Delivery platform for free mail lists for the commission. So this meeting notice was the first that went out on that platform, and I think this should also simplify kind of the access story for other commissioners to send emails or newsletter announcements through that. Beyond that, nothing to report.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Sani. We'll move right along to announcements, general announcements from commissioners if they have anything. I'll open up the floor to any commissioners. Commissioner Jones.
Yes, I just had two announcements. This weekend on Saturday, March 21st, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Catholic University, there's going to be what's called the Healthy Homes Fair. I think looks like this will be the third annual one. And it looks like they have a lot of exhibits. I know I, along with probably other DC homeowners and people that are renting and across the city are experiencing higher utility bills. So this could be a way to learn a little bit more about potential ways to reduce your cost on electric bills. Yes, I think Commissioner Headland put that in the chat. It looks like you may be able to win a mini split, washer dryers. So just something, if you're interested, I encourage people to attend or at least check out the website and see what's going on there. In addition to that, similar to energy, electricity, and just climate updates, there's a DC Climate Week from April 20th through the 26th, and there are several events going on across the city related to that. I will put the chat in or I'll put the link in the chat for that.
Great. Thank you very much. Any other commissioners?
I wanted to flag because I've heard this from a lot of my constituents with all the snow and plowing and subsequent digging out that we had to do as a district. A lot of public litter bins have been damaged by snow plows or moved or relocated or otherwise are in really bad condition. The recommended way of handling this is to use 311. You can do it online, call, text, and they should hopefully be able to get you squared away. If you have had problems with them being responsive, which is very much something that I've heard, please send the service request number. It should start with SR and maybe I think 26. Send that to your commissioner. Your commissioners can aggregate these, and we have a way to kind of escalate these internally. But yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but I do feel your pain there. But I've seen them slowly starting to catch up on that. But just one thing I've observed.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Sani. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Headland?
Yeah, I have a few updates, local kind of PSAs mostly. One, the D30 bus stop northbound on North Capitol, it was moved from North Cap in Florida to North Cap in P. And I believe they're going to move it back. So that was something that I advocated for because it's right across the street from the C53 transfer and better visibility, feels a bit safer. So that's a change that should be coming soon. Another thing on Tanner Park Playground, the shade structure or the shade sails are going to be replaced by early April. Nova Bid is paying for that. They were damaged in the snowstorm. They were removed and they're going to be replaced. I asked if there would be a chance for community input on like changes to the shade structure to reduce the temptation for children to jump on it like a trampoline. And I don't know if we're going to have a chance to give input, but they know that that's an issue, so maybe they'll change it somehow. Another thing at Harry Thomas, we have the community meeting this Thursday about the modernization. So anybody who uses the rec center or is interested in the rec center should go to that just to learn what's happening and put in your, comment and suggestions. They're going to be resurfacing the tennis courts this summer. Apparently, they didn't have a date for me yet, but I'll keep on them to see when that's going to happen and share it out. I was also going to bring up the Healthy Homes Fair. It is fun. There's free stuff and there's raffles, and it's fun for kids. I bring my kids to it because it's free, and there's like free candy and stuff for them to collect. And then finally, this is somewhat random, but I met with the Brandywine Valley SPCA last week. They're the new animal shelter that the city contracts with for animal shelter services. They have a free microchipping program. They have a vaccine clinic. They have discounted spay and neuter services. Their site is kind of off the beaten track. I haven't been there yet. But they seem cool. They have a food pantry for pet food. So it's a resource for people to use, and they also are interested in volunteers and donations. So I'm going to put their website in the chat too, if anybody wants to check them out. That's it for me.
Great. Thank you very much, Commissioner Hinland. Any other commissioners? Not, I will recognize myself for a second. This Saturday, there is a DC Comprehensive Plan meeting at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library. It's an opportunity for, it's really a workshop sessions. You have to sign up for it ahead of time. It starts at 11 o'clock, but it's really an excellent opportunity to provide feedback to the DC Office of the Planning on what the city will look like over the next several years. And so I strongly encourage residents and other commissioners to join that. There are multiple sessions. Saturday is one of them. I think there's another one. It's either,
I think there's one tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Yeah. But it's just another great opportunity to provide feedback. I know there's been a lot of complaints from members of the public, myself included, especially regarding, for example, the Fort Myer asphalt plant and some of the smells and odors that have been emanating from that area. And I think our opportunity to make significant changes, even in the long term, is better to do that through the comprehensive plan. So I just encourage folks to join that if they have the opportunity to give some feedback. All right, no other comments or questions. We'll move right along to presentations relating to agenda items, which there is nothing. So we'll move on to number 10, which is the consent agenda. So for other folks' awareness, if you haven't been at this meeting before, on the consent agenda, the items are voted as a group. However, individual commissioners can pull anything off the consent agenda for debate or edits or changes as necessary if they wish, and placed basically on the action agenda. So there are A through F, 6 different items that are on the consent agenda. One is the resolution supporting council lead-free DC Omnibus Amendment Act of 2025, and that came out of the Public Safety and Health Committee, and that also supports B26-0011, which is accelerating a lead-free DC Amendment Act of 2025. Commissioner Hedlund is sponsoring that. There's a resolution to request transportation improvements to Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. Commissioner Bishop Henchman has sponsored that. Resolution requesting policy changes to preserve pedestrian access during winter weather events. Commissioner Sani sponsored that. Resolution requesting improved real-time monitoring and messaging about snow and ice clearing, also by Commissioner Sani. A resolution requesting improved snow and ice clearing on east-west bikeways in Ward 5, also by Commissioner Sani. And then finally, the resolution requesting the reporting of uncleared sidewalks to be added to 311's online portal by Commissioner Sani. So for those, if this is your first time here, resolutions give weight to particular issues from the commission, from your local representatives, and can go to the council and provide, additional weight to either ongoing legislation or to changes within the executive branch. And agencies are required to respond to resolutions if it's associated with a particular agency. So with that being said, I'll ask if any commissioners wish to pull anything off the consent agenda. Commissioner Jones?
Not to pull anything off, and I apologize for bringing this up during the meeting, but I was curious, can I sponsor for 3 of them? Co-sponsor or no?
I think.
Yeah, I think we could make those changes, basically add your name to the sponsor. If the sponsor is okay with you being added, I'm fine with that. Are there any objections from commissioners? Because it's not a substantive change to any of the language within the respective resolution. Okay, hearing no objections, then yeah, that's fine. Nicole, are there specific ones you wish to be added to?
Yes, I'd like to co-sponsor with Commissioner Headland's lead-free DC, Commissioner Bishop Henchman's transportation improvements to Rhode Island, and then Commissioner Sani's 311 online portal uncleared sidewalks.
Okay.
I can
Great.
also send those after the meeting if that's helpful.
Okay, that's we're capturing the minutes. Thanks, Commissioner Johnny. Are there any objections from commissioners on that? Since that's not substantial, I think that's fine. Okay, all right. Any other questions from commissioners? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we will move to vote on all of these as a block, and we'll move to a roll call vote. Starting with Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Still not present?
I do not see her.
Okay, not present. Commissioner Galvan, I also vote aye. Commissioner Anderson, still not present. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
All right. In the ayes of the chair, we have 5 aye and 0 nay. And the resolutions have all passed. Thank you all for your hard work on getting those out the door and the support of the Committee on Public Safety and Health as well. Moving right along, we'll move to the action agenda. On the action agenda, we have 2 items: modification of the grant to Langley PTO and a grant application by Lee Montessori. We will start with the modification of the grant to Langley PTO by Commissioner Headland.
Thank you. This was a grant that the ANC approved in December, and since then the Langley PTO, it's a larger project, and they requested a grant from us to fund part of the project. And then in the time since then, they found funds to pay for some of the items that they specifically requested from us. So they want to change their spending plan, and then instead of spending the ANC grant on headphones, they want to spend them on book bins and whiteboards, which was part of the larger project budget. OANC has reviewed the change, and they said it's permissible. So we just wanted to vote on it so the commission is apprised of the change. So any questions? from commissioners?
Any questions from commissioners?
Thank you for chasing that down. I was on the email thread, so I saw it all. But, yeah.
All right.
So I move to approve the change to the spending plan for the Langley PTO grant.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Sani. We will move to a roll call vote to approve the modification of the grant to Langley PTO, starting with Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson, still not present. And Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And finally, Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
All right, great. On the ayes of the chair, we have 5-0, and the approval of the modification of the grant has been approved by the FIF Commission. Thank you. We'll move along to action item 11B, which is the grant application by Lee Montessori, and that will be Commissioner Sani.
Yes, thank you. Last month, along with our normal grant cycle, which shameless plug, you can find on our website, anc5f.com/grants. Representatives from Lee Montessori in Brookland, that's one of the schools along 4th Street in Commissioner Jones's SMD, so 5F01. They presented to us regarding their program for educating students, families, and community members on people with different abilities and how to kind of accommodate everyone within a community. At the time of their presentation, OANC had not gotten back with a final sign-off saying that this would be an appropriate use of ANC funds. Shortly after the meeting, though, however, OANC got back to us and said that they approve the expenditure is a valid one for an ANC to make. They don't technically approve things. They can only just say it's not controversial for them. And so within our normal grant cycle, obviously they presented last time, and now the grant application itself for $2,500 is up for vote on the commission. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I believe I see at least one representative online, so they can answer if I cannot.
Okay, great. Thank you, Commissioner Sani. Any questions from commissioners? All right. Seeing none, hearing none. We will, do you have an action?
Oh, I move to approve the grant application.
We have second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Headland. And we'll go to a roll call vote. Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, still not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson, still not present. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
That was an aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
Great. As the chair, we have 5-0, and the application has been approved. We'll get the paperwork over, so thank you. Moving right along. We are now at item 12, which is other reports or presentations. We have roughly 10 minutes for the presentation, and then 5 minutes for question and answer. We'll start with Hazel Crawford, who's the Ward 5 liaison for the Department of Buildings. You are recognized, Hazel.
Hey everyone, how we doing today? I'm Hazel Crawford. I'm the Ward 5 liaison at the Department of Buildings. I just wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know if you ever need anything, just feel free to shoot me a call or an email. I'll drop my contact information so the commissioners can disseminate it out to the community. We're approaching warmer months, so that means more property maintenance violations, more vacant properties, and possibly illegal construction. So with that, I will put in important links for you guys to know and to utilize. If you see something, feel free to submit a request or send it to me directly. And also, warmer months also comes with noise. The Department of Buildings is one of the agencies who manage noise complaints. If it's on a property, we can come out and inspect it. It gets a little tricky, but feel free to send that over to me, and we can figure it out from there. Other than that, that's all I have. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm here to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Hazel. Apologies for mispronouncing your name at the beginning there. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Sani?
Just wanted to co-sign the utility of talking to Mr. Crawford. He's helped me out of quite a few of challenges with residents and various parts of the city. So an immensely good resource. So
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Sani. Any other questions from commissioners? Then we'll move to members of the public. Yes, Commissioner Headland.
I'll just say thank you for joining us tonight. I went to a DOB meet and greet in January or February, and it was just good to learn about what DOB does. We have a lot of construction in our neighborhood. We have a lot of vacant properties in our neighborhood. So this is a resource for us to use. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invite.
Great. Any other questions from commissioners? Recognize myself for a moment here. Hazel, for the noise complaints, I'm assuming that's associated with construction activities. Is that correct?
Yes. So when it comes to construction, the legal construction hours is permitted Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. without any special permit. Work occurring outside of those hours requires an approved after hours permit. So again, if you see something, if you believe construction is taking place outside of the legal hours without the proper authorization, let me know, or you can obviously do it yourself with a legal construction inspection request, but feel free to let me know directly so we can get an inspector out and we can notate it properly.
If we see work that's being done at a property and we're unsure if that work is permitted, obviously we get reported, ANC 5F commissioners get reports of ongoing activity, whether they're in the public right of way or they're at particular properties. We get a weekly report for that. If it's not on that report, how would anyone here go through the process of submitting a request to find out if that work's being done legally?
So always remember, if it's on a public right of way, 9 times out of 10 is DDOT. If it's on a property, my suggestion would to be you guys can send me the address or again submit an illegal construction request. Again, we're an enforcement agency, so if you submit it, we're going to come out. We're going to come out regardless. Or if you just want to know, just send me the address and I can check. And we can just go from there. I can look into it and we can go from there. But if you want to do it and you need something, my suggestion is one, if you can take pictures of it or record it, you can send it to me and I can review it, or you can upload it within the illegal construction request. And that way it'll help the illegal construction team figure out if it's actually permitted, if they're doing something outside of the scope of the permit. And, when we come on site, we'll say, well, hey, like, you guys are not permitted to do this work based on what we received from the community.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I have. Any other questions from commissioners? Last chance. All right, move on to members of the public. I see someone with their hand raised. We'll recognize you. iPhone, just please state your name and identify yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Sid. Thank you for joining. I have a question about a vacant property. So we have one with whom we share an alley. And it's because it's vacant and a lot of folks are aware of that. It's become like an illegal dumping spot for a lot of people. So I don't know if there's anything you can do on your end because it's been vacant for a very long time, and I don't think like the person who owns the property cares or is even, I don't even know where they are. Um, it's hard to find that information, so I don't know like if you have any information to help in this regard.
Yeah, if you don't mind, do you know the address of that property?
Yeah, it's 152 Todd Place Northeast.
152 Todd Place Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can look into it and I can send out an inspector and see what we find. And if we see any violations, we'll cite the property owner and ask them to abate it. And we can go from there.
No, I'm saying it's a spot for like dumping like junk stuff, because people know no one lives there.
So it's
And
a
so that,
vacant property. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, and so that becomes, it's like then the neighbors, we have to kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it blocks the alley, and then 311 requests take some time to come, and it's that spot because it's vacant. So the
Gotcha.
owner doesn't care because they don't live there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's still the same process. If it's a vacant property, we still send out an inspector, and if we see that it's vacant, we'll deem it vacant, and we'll still follow the process in place to deem a property vacant. And that's notifying the property owner and letting them know to let us know what they're doing with this property. And if we see
Okay.
violations like trash, we'll ask them to clean it up. And if we have to go back out and we still see the violations, we'll ultimately abate it, take care of it, and we'll also end up placing a lien on the
Right.
property.
Actually, your team has been very helpful in doing that because twice we had to put in a request to you guys. And I mean, it would be beneficial for you and us to find a long-term solution.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but thank you I know you guys have been very timely in like doing the evasion process. So thank you for that. But I just wanted to see if there was anything else in the meantime that could be done.
yeah. I'll look into it, but essentially, if it's a vacant property and if we
Hmm.
already let OTR know, we already changed the tax classification on it. It's a long,
Okay.
drawn out process in which if a lien is already on the property, again, it's going to sit. But as long as it's boarded up and it's clean and it's not a
Hmm.
nuisance to the community, that's the main concern.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Great. Thanks very much, Sid and Hazel. Are there any other questions from members of the community? All right. Hearing none, seeing none. Thank you very much, Hazel, for your time. And
Thank you.
we have we'll move on to our next item on the agenda. We have Gabe Adler and or Tom Litke, hopefully I got that correct, from SB Works to talk about the North Capitol Street Main Street program. Are they online?
Yeah, you bet.
Great.
Thanks for opening up the video and the mute. So I'll try to keep your meeting moving quite along. You're doing a great job. So I don't want to keep you past 8 o'clock on our account. If you could, yeah, share Gabe as well. I appreciate it. Want to just thank you and say good evening. Gabe and I have been working as part of SB Works. The program has been selected to manage the North Capitol Main Street program. We've had an opportunity to meet with a number of the civic associations as well as ANC 5E, and we're happy to be invited to 5F this evening. So Gabe's going to tell you a little bit more about a couple of special events we got coming up, but I'm going to do the quick background history and kind of take it from there. SB Works has been involved with Main Street programs for about 10 years. Personally, I've been involved with them for about 25 years, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We've been based on Rhode Island Avenue Northeast for the last decade or so. We've been managing a co-working space much further up the road, closer to Mount Rainier. It's worked out really well. We have a number of grant programs through Department of Housing and Community Development. And now we've been starting to work a little bit more with the Main Street programs. Personally, I've been involved with Urban Main Streets and served as the advisor to the DC Citywide Main Street program when they formed it 20-something years ago. If we've bumped into each other personally, it's because I used to live in Edgewood, right up the street. So I tend to know the area, and Lincoln Road's still one of my favorite roads to get on home when I was living over there. Um, so with that in mind, we did receive the grant the last couple of months ago. Department of Small and Local Business Development didn't do too much to announce it, so we've kind of been slow rolling and being polite, hoping that they would cut a ribbon or some such thing, but hasn't occurred. So we just said the heck with it. Let's just go meet with everybody and take it from there. Gabe, I served as your interim Main Street director for a very brief time just to make sure that we understood a little bit of some of the issues and opportunities of the area. And Gabe Adler, as you see, is going to be moving forward as your full-time Main Street director. Personally, just so you know, kind of my background a little bit from my end, I've been involved with urban Main Street programs for about 25 years. I managed the first urban one in America up in Boston years and years ago. And when DC was starting the citywide program, I was encouraged to help a number of the programs get on their feet. After that time, I kind of helped. SB Works was a nonprofit that we formed to serve as like support for Main Street programs rather than replace the idea that they are volunteer-driven commercial revitalization programs. Past couple of months, we've been getting out there, been able to meet a number of businesses. Gabe will tell you a little bit about some of the grants he's provided to a few of the businesses. Currently, we're really attending sessions. Some of the civic associations, they want to know really what our strategy is. We're a little bit reluctant to that way because we openly acknowledge that we'll never know the community the same way the folks who've been living here for quite a time know it. So we'd rather be listening for at least the first few months so that we can come up with some ideas. Commissioner Headland invited us to attend this evening. I'm hoping we're not taking up 10 minutes, but you folks can ask as many questions as you like. We do have a budget of about $160,000 for this program. That includes all staffing and all incentives that are provided to local businesses. We do know the area fairly well. Gabe lives nearby. I used to live nearby. So we're attending those kind of next steps. We'd like to develop an advisory board so that we get as much information as we can from Bates neighborhood, Hanover, Bloomingdale, Eckington, and make sure that we're accurate in what we're trying to portray as sort of the commercial revitalization strategy for the area. As part of that, we consider these sessions as the beginning of the listening session, and then really I'll call it the peak of the listening session is an open house we'll be having. Gabe, you want to talk a little bit more about that that's coming up?
Yeah, sure. So next Thursday, the 26th from 4:30 to 7, we'll be at Boundary Stone. Very informal, just to kind of meet people and so people can meet us in person. We've been doing a lot of these virtual meetings, so just hoping to meet as many folks from the community as possible. I'll probably say a few words, but will really just be a good opportunity to gather. Very casual. People can make it after work, and I'll share a flyer with you all if there's a good way to get that out there. And then, yeah, like Tom said, I'm kind of appreciative to Tom. He's been doing a lot of the work of getting to know the civic associations well and introducing me to them. And I've kind of been on the streets meeting the business owners. As you all know, a lot of really great businesses in the area, and they, been in the same sort of listening mode as Tom, getting to know the issues that they have. A lot of common issues. Obviously, you all know it's been a tough year or two for small businesses, or even more than that for small businesses, especially in DC. But there are some issues that are unique to the area as well, not just to the wider city. So businesses have expressed, wanting to really sort out their rodent issues or make it easier for patrons to go from one business to the other to cross sides of North Capitol Street. So thinking about some ways to kind of activate some programming or think about some strategies to get people to do so. But that's kind of all I have for you now. Would love to see all of you at the open house next week. And thanks again for having us on tonight.
Yeah, feel free. Please ask whatever questions you like, as long as you're like I said, you're running a tight meeting. I don't like to mess with good efficient meetings. So, but we're here for you.
That's all right. We appreciate your time. We'll start with questions from commissioners. Commissioner Sani.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I'm happy to hear that North Capitol is getting some attention in this post-Deckover era. What are the bounds of what you consider to be Main Street? Because, like, obviously, like you'd mentioned, I assume Boundary Stone, for example, is one of the places that might be there, but that's also kind of Rhode Island Avenue, which is, I think, like DC squared. Like, how do you define the boundary of this program?
Sure. Well, geographically, it is set some years ago. It is primarily North Capitol Street from Florida to Rhode Island Avenue and Bloomingdale, I'll just call it in general. Those areas are not covered by DC squared. They start at 3rd Street Northeast, and they go out to the Mount Rainier border and Bladensburg Road. The area we're covering is frankly was what I consider dormant, was the North Capitol Main Street program, which used to exist. To be clear, we have no direct affiliation. It's a program for us as part of SB Works. It's not our nonprofit itself. My selfish interest though is we're more than happy to help anybody within, I don't know, a half-mile interest within reason. I can tell you as an organization, we were able to write grants that got lost gen about $300,000 a while back. We're pretty good at writing great streets grants, locally made manufacturing grants. In my time in DC, I've been here, I don't know, 20 something years. I've probably been involved with about 200 facade improvements all around the city, and I don't know, maybe 10 or $20 million in grant awards. The grant award I was going to mention earlier, the grant for North Capitol Main Street is $160,000. That includes all staffing, all programming. Like many of you, I missed the fact that I used to run facade programs where I could spend 10, 20, $40,000 on a property. Now I'm pretty much limited to $40,000 for the whole Main Street geographic area. And I'm saying me, but frankly, it's Gabe more than me. So
Thank you.
Other questions from commissioners?
I can repeat one that Commissioner Bishop Henchman asked in chat. Could it be repeated when the Boundary Stone meet and greet is?
It'll be Thursday, the 26th. So a week from this Thursday, 4:30 to 7. And I have a flyer that I can share with you all as well.
Yeah, if you can get that Commissioner Hedlund, I'm sure she can pass it along to everyone else.
And we figure we'll just have something every blue moon. And at the risk of people being curious, that's not government money. That's out of our own pocket. We know the program's been dormant for a while. We just want to get something to get a little bit more kickoff, kind of reboot. We'll pick up the tab as best we can within reason, unless you're all cognac drinkers or something like that. So, but and we'll move it along to maybe Republic Cantina some other time and another place another time. But we'll certainly keep it supporting local businesses.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner Hedlund?
Yeah, just thanks for coming. I had heard, a lot. I've been here since 2013, and at some point there was like a North Capitol Main Street program that I heard of, and then I'd never heard of it again for like 10 or 15 years. So when I heard of you guys getting a new grant and taking over implementation, I was excited because North Capitol could use some love. So happy to have you guys. And I think, what you said, just like the experience of walking on the street there is probably your biggest challenge. The car speeds, the dust, the pollution, the noise. It's not a great experience right now. So I know you have a lot of resources, but also the businesses could use, I'm sure, some help. So.
Yeah, we're happy to do whatever it takes within reason. We don't really hit up the businesses, frankly, for much funding from our own perspective. We try to distribute as best we can that 160,000 as most equitably as possible. As someone who's had lived in the area for a while and been familiar with the main streets forever, Lincoln Road, North Capitol, Bloomingdale to me are all sort of separate conversations that are all merged together in one program. So we hope you'll, have a little patience with us as we try to listen to different residential concerns at different areas. I do want to reinforce as well, though, Gabe is well aware that because it's the program, and I'm going to use the term dormant for a while, we're not looking to poach from any organization too. If everybody's happy with the way Big Bear is running the farmers market over in Bloomingdale, great. We'll try to find funding for them. We don't want to pull away volunteers who are already happy being part of Friends of Crispus Attucks Park or Alethea Tanner Park. These are already groups that have been around for a while. We would gladly sort of, I'll call it wait in our turn and facilitate what they're doing rather than try to reorganize the same 10 active people that are always around. So
Great. Thank you very much. Any other questions? I see some hand raised. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for joining us and look forward to further engagement. I just wanted to put in a word for maybe an early success opportunity would be some kind of activation at the Mamo lot at Florida and North Capitol. I think the owner is in the process of seeking further zoning relief.
right.
And while I hope they get it and hope they build on it, I don't think they're going to be building very quickly on it. So that's going to remain an empty lot for some period of time. And so it's a real opportunity to activate it and like with anything. And, I think at one point there was a survey from Councilmember Parker on ideas for activating it. And there were some really innovative and neat ones that the community put forward. And I think it kind of died on the vine due to lack of some kind of organization to spearhead that initiative. Well, maybe you guys are the organization. So I just wanted to raise that and wish you good luck. And certainly, if there's anything the commission can do to help make that stretch from North Capitol, from Florida to Rhode Island a success, we're happy to do it. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, thank you. I can say, Gabe and I know we've kind of talked about making sure that there was what I'll call it, particularly a priority of listening session, and we're still in it now, in sort of kind of hearing where the conversations go. I was entertained that you said post over deck conversation because I get it, and I don't want to ruin a good meeting by kind of talking about the potential or the lost opportunity. That lot, as well as someone who's kind of been here for a while, I remember going to Art All Night there, which tells me that it was a darn long time ago because that has been a while. Um, and so we are receptive. We are pretty open-ended as an organization. We follow the Main Street approach, but I do want to mention I set up SB Works years ago and founded it with the idea that we would support the Main Street concept, but bring it into a more of a modern era, particularly in DC, where it needs some fine tuning at times. Don't tell the National Main Street Center I said that, but DC has kind of used their Main Street programs in a different approach, and we are more than happy to we're open to ideas that are within the legal and economic confines, whether it's fun or economically driven. And yeah, like I said, I kind of know some of the gossip of that lot. I haven't heard anyone to dispute what I've heard about sort of why it's going through the zoning relief and all it has. But that I'm just going to bring that around and say that's kind of why we really want an advisory board from the area. SB Works has a small board, but we want better information than just Tom and Gabe walking around. We want you to bring it to us so that we can argue on behalf and be a little bit more of that small business advocate that we think would be appreciated for the area.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, thank you for being here. This is kind of a newer concept for me, or I didn't know about this before. And I'm curious to learn more about kind of what business owners think about activating the space. And I think um, one main point I'm thinking about is like when I am on North Capitol, it's very loud and very noisy. And I think I'd be interested to learn a little bit more there. I guess my question is, how can neighbors and residents keep up to date with how you're progressing through some of the projects?
Yeah, I think take no insult by saying you might be the last group we're meeting with along the way. It just was a matter of scheduling. I believe last month I sat in 5E, and then Gabe and I have sat with Bates and Hanover and the other nearby neighborhoods. Um, I don't mind sharing that I have found that this area is really high in social capital for those of you who like your sociology talk. And there is a lot of exchange between groups. Scott Roberts is, seems to me, quite an asset of the area, just sharing what's going on here and there. We would both like to really keep supporting that concept of being really connected as quickly as possible. We also run an area in Upper Georgia Avenue, which doesn't really have that same focus on staying tuned in to the latest developments. I've been here long enough to know that NOMA didn't exist when I first got here, and the pressures that it provides crossing New York Avenue and things like that. So we are for getting the word out to folks in a manageable discourse along the way, as best we can, and kind of mixing that residential and business priority. Most of you know, if you're not familiar with it, um, Main Street program is focused on a small business volunteer driven approach, but we've kind of been doing this for a while, and we'd rather we hear as many voices that are sort of educated on the topics with thoughtful ideas. And I'm foolish enough to try things. So poor Gabe's going to have to work with that. We're gonna try new things that go a little bit beyond the boundaries at times.
And just to add to that, also there will be some basic resources that will be getting up and running in the next month or so. I mean, we just received our award and kind of okay to go ahead in the past month, but there will be an Instagram page probably in the next week or so. We will have a semi-regular newsletter. The website's still in process of being built. So there will hopefully be a website in the next month where you'll be able to subscribe to said newsletter. But yeah, for right now, not as many formal avenues to kind of hear from us. But I think the Facebook page is up and running. So
You just reminded me that I'm old, really, when you just asked. I didn't realize it at the time, but like this is why Gabe is going to be in charge of social media and communication. Otherwise, I'll just go walk around and shake hands, you
but
know?
both will
And
be
so
happening. Both will definitely be happening.
Awesome. Thank you.
And while we're at it, I'll just ask, do you guys have contact information that you can share? Maybe it's in the chat already, or since there isn't all those other things in the yet
Yeah.
online, we'll have to go back to the old ways.
Gabe's going to do the voodoo that he do right now. I swear, I can feel it. He's at home. I'm still at the office because I'm an old guy and this is what I do. So, but yeah, and Gabe, go ahead and put the phone number as well. We've recently relocated. We managed a co-working space for the last 10 years on Rhode Island Avenue up by Zeke's. It was a good run, but now because we're managing two neighborhoods, we kind of tried to split the location. We're on Blair Road. But we're down there all the time. Gabe lives within a mile of there. It's my backyard as far as I'm concerned of where I used to go socialize. One of our board members lives on 4th Street. Like I said, we've helped Lost Gen a number of times. We've helped a number of other businesses in that area, so we kind of know it pretty well.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I do want to give the public a quick opportunity here to ask any questions they may have or have comments. So I'll open that up now to any members of the public, online or in person. Yes.
Hi, Taylor Loeb.
You may need to come closer.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Taylor Loeb, I live around 3rd and T. So this is my first meeting, and this is kind of a new concept for me. So when we talk about the Main Street program helping small businesses with this, there's kind of like a $40,000, $50,000 allotment. What exactly does that look like in practice, and how are those funds being spent?
Yeah, I'm going to give you I'll call it right off the bat. Here's the way the budget works for all Main Street programs pretty much in DC. $160,000. About 60,000 is eligible for staffing. Everything after that, we have to raise our own funds. About 80,000 is split between business assistance, what they call tangibles or physical improvements. So we're allowed to help. God help me for telling you this, but like I was in Showtime on New Year's Eve. Their hot water heater was shot, right? I wasn't carrying an application with me at the time. I'm not that big a nerd, but I said, if you apply, we can help you replace that. Gabe has given out a number of grants in the meantime. Similarly, we have about $20,000 to $40,000 of that. 20 to 40,000 facade improvements and similar projects like that. I'm going to say that comes to about 60. Maybe the other 20,000 is everything from training and development for us to supporting events. For example, I know Bloomingdale, Bates, I've lost track of all the neighborhoods that are having cleanup days. What we'd like to do is if the event will support local businesses. In other words, if you go buy donuts from Uncle Chip's or wherever, right? We'll help support the events of the event itself, but I can't give funds to the civic association that's running it. As long as we keep supporting the businesses really like one-to-one directly, that's where our money is going to go. We're almost a redistributive program in that sense. We don't get in the way as far as that. We're not taking a percentage or anything like that. We have other funding sources. So
Very
how'd I
helpful.
do,
Thank you.
Gabe? Did I pretty much kind of hit the budget?
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect. I think also, we all on the staff kind of bring different skills to the table. So technical assistance ends up being pretty broad for us, covering a lot of things. So
Right.
I have a photography background. We have, craft beverage specialists on staff and marketing specialists on staff. So, we also try to offer support to the businesses.
Yeah. Thinking of some examples, Domestique applied for what's called a Great Streets Grant, which is pretty significant money, $85,000 sometimes. I believe we encouraged them. We provided a construction estimator to make sure that it was an accurate portrayal of how they could redo their building. We're not the typical group that's sort of upfront with the microphone shouting about how things are. We're a little bit more behind the scenes helping build the stage. Just to use that example, like we'd rather fix up your building so that you can get back to running your business is more of our specialty as opposed to civic engagement, which frankly, this area is excellent at. We don't need to be one more platform. You guys are kicking butt. A lot of groups are doing fine. So
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Any other questions online?
totally said we weren't going to take 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure I lied.
It's been a good discussion.
Okay,
So,
good. All right, sorry.
thank you very much for your time and appreciate the contact information as well. And I'm sure we'll be in touch. Just luck
Great,
to you.
thanks. We hope to see you on the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 13, committee and task force updates, 5 minutes per each. We'll go to alcohol and cannabis licensing committee. Ms. Coughlin. You are recognized.
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Melissa Coughlin. I'm the chair of the Alcohol and Cannabis Licensing Committee, and I am here to give our update. So I just posted a community feedback form to the moderator of the chat. If they can throw that into the meeting, that would be great. This is a Google form that we have that residents of ANC 5F can give continuous feedback about alcohol and cannabis serving establishments in their neighborhood in real time. And we have not had any responses from our last meeting, which is fine, but please feel free to chime in with positive or negative feedback as you see fit. New applications for alcohol and cannabis, none. There was no renewals. There were no cancellations. There were no significant changes, but we do have a license transfer. So there was an application for the transfer of a conditional social equity retailer license, and the ask was to convert it to a standard license. And so this is for 405 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. This is Commissioner Bishop Henchman's district, and this is the current site of a place called Maven. And so they are looking to transfer their license to Dispensary District LLC and convert it to a standard license and not a social equity license. The decision to do this was made on the 26th, approved by ABCA. They made a decision to placard it on the 26th of February. I haven't seen an official placard come through on email, but the cannabis process is very different from the alcohol process. So I'm not really sure how that works. I can reach out to them and find out if there's a protest opportunity, because I know that we love to do that. So committee work, we still need more people. So tell your friends, commissioners, please ask your constituents. I know there was something in the agenda to appoint somebody to our committee tonight, which was very exciting. And then just in general, ABCA news, the next extended holiday hours program is for DC Emancipation Day. So what this is registered establishments can can extend alcohol service hours beyond their operating hours. So for Emancipation Day, that'll be Wednesday, April 15th through Sunday, April 19th. Establishments must have registered for this by today at midnight, Tuesday, March 17th. And that is my update from the ACLC.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Coughlin. Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Bishop-Benjamin?
Yes. Thank you to Ms. Coughlin for noting that issue with Maven. I haven't heard anything bad from the community on it. They seem to have been a good neighbor, despite the fact that they are only now getting a license. They have kind of been there for about 2 years, and I'm all for people going through the proper channels and getting legalized and everything. So, but if I'm wrong on any of that, I'm sure constituents will email me, and I'm happy to read them.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Benjamin. Any other questions, comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from members of the public? Nope. All right, moving right along. Thank you very much, Ms. Coughlin. Moving on to Community Engagement Committee, Commissioner Headland.
So right now it's a committee of one. I am looking for anyone interested in getting involved, and my vision is how do we improve outreach to community members? So anybody who's interested in communications or basically communications. And also maybe if anybody's interested in like fun social events, because I know people want to meet their neighbors more, and connecting that with, something ANC related could be a good, this could be a good venue for that. So I'm going to have a meeting next Wednesday. I'm going to try to find at least one other person to meet with me, if not more than one. And if anybody here or online is interested in joining me, please reach out.
Great. Thank you very much, Commissioner Headland. Moving on to, I'm sorry, excuse me. Commissioners, Commissioner Bishop-Benjamin.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to note that I don't know when we did this. It must have been quite some time ago, but we added Commissioner Anderson and myself to this committee. So it is a committee of 3, so you don't necessarily need to, you can ask us to quit the committee if you want, but you don't necessarily need to meet with yourself.
Okay, good. I'll help you there.
And I know you had raised the postcard that has been floating around that I'm kind of roughly here trying to pull up our budget where we adopted funds to be able to send it out. And I think you distributed it if there are any comments on it, but unless there is objection, because we're already in March, the meeting calendar is going to get pretty old if we put it off too much longer. So hopefully there's interest in, maybe we can discuss this at the committee meeting, but of using the allocated funds in the budget to send out this postcard with the meeting calendar that was designed, I think, by Mr. Baxara.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Sounds great. Any other questions from commissioners? Questions or volunteers from the public? Great. Thank you very much, Commissioner Headland. We'll move along to Public Safety and Health Committee, Chair Aaron Price. Mr. Aaron Price.
Yes. Good evening, neighbors. Good evening, commissioners. So, as always, Public Safety and Health has been busy creating some more resolutions. But I want to start at the top with providing our last update regarding community engagement. And I think we just talked about this, but we gave Commissioner Headland the updated postcard as well, and added some language around the Community Engagement Committee and those regular meetings on there as well. So just soliciting more feedback from commissioners. If you have any updates to the postcard prior to approval, please let us know so we can update that as well. And as always, our committee will continue to support the Community Engagement Committee's efforts. So feel free to tap us in whenever you need. If you need more folks at events, if you need more help with outreach and communication, we're here to help. Public safety. So thank you to the commissioners tonight for passing our lead-free DC support resolution. We as a committee will continue to monitor both pieces of legislation so that we can activate some testimony once it comes to a public hearing for the council. Our next resolution will currently focus on the Safe Community Places and Policing Amendment Act. For folks that may be familiar with legislation on the federal level regarding the Protecting Sensitive Locations Act, it's very similar but at a localized model. So this is ensuring that immigration enforcement activities do not happen in certain locations in a community, such as playgrounds, schools, hospitals, bus stops, and such. It also adds some extra layers of protection. So we are looking forward to adamantly supporting that as a piece of legislation moving forward. So that resolution will hopefully be here in April for a vote upon the commission. So we're looking forward to tackling that. That's public safety, public health. So some updates regarding legislation there. So the Place-Based Substance Use Outreach Amendment Act, which is one that our committee wrote up a resolution and was supported and passed by the ANC. Had a write-up in the health committee recently. So it's looking poised for first read through in council, which is really exciting. That's really going to revolutionize the way that direct outreach happens for folks in our community and other wards across DC, folks that are experiencing substance use disorder and getting the appropriate services that they need in order to thrive and succeed. So looking forward to seeing that move forward and toward a vote. An exciting bill was just introduced that we are looking forward to supporting, and this happened later today. This is the Public Trash and Recycling Container Budgeting Act of 2026, which was introduced by Council Member Henderson, and it works very well with some of the recommendations we had for the RAT and RATS bills. And this will allow for phasing out of the current trash cans that we have and phasing in of ones that are rodent protected. So that's going to be quintessential, and having a small phase in of that. So when we see capital projects that are happening, such as renovations to centers like Harry Thomas, that's going to be a part of that as well. So any trash cans that are being updated will automatically be updated to the rodent repellent trash cans as well. So pretty exciting stuff, but that's something that our committee will take a look at too, and we'd love to support that through a resolution as well. Fort Myers Construction Company. So this week has been a little bit quiet in terms of smelling all the asphalt, which is good, and knock on wood that continues. But just a reminder to neighbors, if you do smell asphalt in the neighborhood, put in a 311 request. We're asking everybody to do that. Like you, your partner, your neighbors, everybody should be doing that in droves, because that tells DOEE, the Department of Energy and the Environment, that that issue is still happening. When they see folks drop off on the 311 request, they immediately think that this is resolved as an issue. So just make sure that you're on top of putting in those requests, please. We are also wanting to continue to prepare to testify when a public hearing occurs for that strengthening the air pollution laws act comes into a public hearing space. So we're going to keep an eye on that. What we want to ask though is we would love if commissioners could reach out to Councilmember Allen's office in particular, since he is the chair of the Transportation and the Environment Committee on the council. We would love to urge him forward to move that Strengthening Air Pollution Permitting Amendment Act as soon as possible, since that's a part of our resolution. And that would be greatly actionable for especially our neighbors who are very frustrated with just putting in 311 requests. So if commissioners could message Councilmember Allen's office, CC Councilmember Parker and myself, that would be greatly appreciated. Other updates, the Public Safety and Health Committee are looking to change our meeting dates from the third Thursdays of the month to the first Thursdays of the month to align better with our resolution writing, since we've been pretty
steady of putting out resolutions, but we've had to call special meetings on weekends in order to pass them, which falls aligned with the calendar for consideration. So first Thursdays of the month to align. We would love if that could be updated on the website as well, just so we can get the word out about that.
Email me after this.
I can do that, absolutely. With that in mind, our March meeting is canceled for this month because it aligned with the exact same time as the Harry Thomas recreation meeting. So we're encouraging all public safety health committee members to go to that meeting instead. That's a good use of our time. Therefore, our next meeting will be on Thursday, April 2nd from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We always offer hybrid options to join. So you can either come here to the Eckington Community Room or you can join via the virtual link that's on the website. And I'll leave you with our public safety and health tip, which is apply for a purple air sensor. So if you're unfamiliar, DOEE has a purple air sensor program. It is free. If you go to their website and just type in DOEE purple air sensor project, you will find a form that any community member can fill out to request a purple air sensor, which monitors air pollution in the area. The more that we could have in the area, the better that we can track some of that data and really hold folks accountable. So that's all I have, and I can answer questions if you have any.
Great, thank you very much. We'll start with commissioners. Commissioner Sani.
Thank you for getting on the trash bin resolution. So just to confirm, your hope is that the PSH committee will have an opportunity to kind of draft a resolution and get something on the books for next, or potentially referred up to the commission for next month's meeting for endorsement, or?
We can certainly try. If you want to take a crack at it though, we're happy to just review if you don't mind.
I'm happy to draft something and send it over.
That'd be great.
Great. Any other commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Jones.
Yes, I am curious, have others received their purple air monitoring sensor?
Daniel,
If they've requested it?
Yes. Do they necessarily know? I think we've come across some neighbors that say they do have the air monitors, but they're not 100% certain they have it since it's been a few years since they've had that as well. If you go to the DOE website for the purple air monitors, you can see where the locations are of those monitors, I believe. Whether or not that is fully updated, I can't attest to that, but you can see that there are a few within the Eckington Edgewood area.
Okay, thank you. And then I have one more question for Daniel. I think, can you repeat, you wanted us to email Charles Allen about, was it the trash cans or was it about the place? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
I can. So we would like you to message Council Member Allen's office, since he is the chair for the Committee on Transportation and the Environment, to urge him to move forward the Strengthening Air Pollution Permitting Amendment Act. And you could forward him our resolution as well on that, just to put a little added pressure on it, especially since he's not the council member for our area. So it would be great for him to know that this is one that our area specifically vastly supports.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions from commissioners? I'll recognize myself for a second. Thank you, Daniel. This is some really, really helpful information and for staying on top of all this stuff. I did receive a purple air monitor, and DOE also provided us with a higher quality air monitor at 2nd and B Street, which is at our property as well. So they maybe that's because I'm a major complainer as part of it. But yeah, they part of their quality division has been helpful in providing with support on those things. So I think that's it. I'll definitely email Councilmember Allen. So thank you. Any other questions from commissioners? No. Questions from members of the public? Yes.
Hi, Lev. Just clarifying on the 301 for the asphalt smells. That is if you're in your home or close to it, right? Not if you're walking directly past the plant, because it feels kind of like you're cheating it.
That's all you can get. You can. I would recommend, if you can smell an odor at all from that
even if you're walking directly past.
Yep, doesn't matter. So they have a set, and I'm answering for you.
No.
They have a it's some sort of olfactory sensor which has multiple gradations, and there's 2 gradations where they basically put something on their nose and it filters the air in some capacity. And if it's 2 filters and they can still smell it, then that's considered a nuisance. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because if I'm smelling it and it's terrible, that's a nuisance. That's a quality of life issue. But if we don't report it, then they don't know to send someone out. So the more that it can be reported, if it's in the area at all, that would be my recommendation.
And my rule of thumb too is we live in a residential area, right? And the Metropolitan Branch Trail is a part of our community nonetheless, and is a big corridor for us. So even if you're going underneath it, that's still a nuisance smell within our community and should be reported as such.
And in addition to phoning it in, is there a way to submit these these online?
Yeah, if you go to DC, if you just type in DC 311 into Google, you can just find the link. There is one that is very specific to odor control for DOEE. So you just fill out that form that's listed there, but that's they have an online portal for it. You can call it in, you could get the app for it, but I usually turn to the internet for mine.
The app doesn't always work.
Don't use the app then.
I have to say. Yeah. And the app, when you do a 311 request, you put your location. So I would say if you're not on the trail and you smell it, don't go to the plant to do your 311 request, because maybe it's more compelling if it's coming from outside your home. Yeah. But there is a place to put your location. So they'll be looking at all that together. Probably it does map.
I'll just say one more thing on that is there's also, because I ride my bike to work every day, and I notice every morning that there are trucks idling not at the plant itself, but along their big truck yard area. Yeah. So if you see it, record it for 2 or 3 seconds. If you can wait 3 minutes and record it again, it's the 3-minute time period. You don't have to record for all 3 minutes, but if you get the beginning and the end and get the license plate, you can also submit a 311, and that will basically fine them for idling for more than 3 minutes, which is district law.
So that's a different 311 request.
It's a different 311 request. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Thanks so much for the update on the trash. Just curious, what the production timeline is. It sounds like there's a few procedural things that have to occur, but just an idea or an estimate of the timeline for that and the sequencing of things that have to occur.
So the legislation just got introduced today, so hopefully it'll go through the committee quickly and expeditiously. But the text of the legislation essentially says it's going to be a full phase-in. So anytime that they need to re-update, and let's say that there was a trash can that they need to, fix, they're not going to put the same old trash can in. Instead, they're planning on putting the new trash cans in that have the wrap proofing as a part of it. So it's all a phase-in approach to what that looks like.
Got it. So they wouldn't do it for a trash can that isn't efficient.
Correct. Based on the legislation currently, correct. But that is something that we have put in previous resolutions. And anytime that we write a resolution, typically we'll put these are some additional components that we would like to see included in that. And that is definitely something that we can consider including as well.
Yeah. All of this is that's the policy, but then the way the city goes about implementing it may be different and varying. Yep. So depending on how high demand certain intersections may be, if we know it to be a hotbed, they could be all right, just shut them up, let's give them a trash can and that. So it never hurts to be the squeaky wheel here. So as this gets passed and whatnot, engage with ANC, engage with Councilmember Parker's office, and agitate for places you think one is needed, because that's how change happens.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Maria.
Maria. All right. Any other questions from public, commissioners? Great. Thank you very much. Daniel, appreciate your time. Moving right along to the Transportation and Public Spaces Committee, Commissioner Sani.
Yes, we met earlier this month. We did not have quorum, but that didn't really matter because both all of the attendees had helped in resolution drafting, and I was there so I could sponsor. So we drafted the 4 resolutions that the ANC voted to approve. So thank you for that. Special shout out to committee member Nick Frazier for drafting the one on sidewalk clearance. It was very nice to see one of those come through. Additionally, some other community news. On March 31st, DDOT is hosting an open house for the Taylor Street Northeast Protected Bikeway. This is running all the way, an east-west bikeway, which is very rare in the district, let alone Ward 5, running all the way from South Dakota Avenue, crossing North Gap over to Rock Creek Parkway. So pretty substantive for families who are taking their children to school on Taylor. It's a very exciting proposal, and so DDOT has incorporated some more feedback in from the community, and they will be hosting a 2-hour-long open house on Tuesday, March 31st at the Woodridge Library from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Afterwards, they will make the same resources available online. This is all their attempt to gather public feedback. So if you can't make it to the open house, it's fine. You can still contact them via their website for this project, which is bikelanes.ddot.gov/pages/Taylor-Street-NE. Reminder, ANC 5F voted to support this project because it will provide an important way for MBT users to access those east-west routes north of Michigan Avenue. But we obviously are continuing to agitate for more southern connectivity, as we did with our strategic bike plan letter, which we drafted and sent along, I think, a couple months ago now. Our next meeting is the first Monday of April at 7:30 p.m. We welcome anyone to come in and talk about issues they've had with traversing the city and the district, and we're happy to listen and see what we can do on that front.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Sani. Any questions from commissioners? Questions from members of the public? Hearing none, seeing none, moving right along to Zoning and Development Committee. Mr. Stone, I believe that they did not meet. Is that correct, Commissioner?
Yes, the zoning did not meet this month. We do, however, have a applicant in the appointments section that I wanted to personally vouch for, Lev Boonen. He might be there.
Yes.
The commission will support him.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Moving along to Library Task Force, Mr. Gary.
I think they canceled the meeting for this month
Yes.
because there was some travel amongst people.
Yes. Okay. And no update for the Library Task Force. All right. Item 14 on the agenda. Almost done here, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. Appointments to committees or task forces. So we have Ellie Thompson to the Library Task Force and Zoning and Development Committee. Zachary Spencer, who's also here in person, to the Alcohol and Cannabis Licensing Committee, and Lev Boonen to the Zoning and Development Committee. If commissioners are open to it, I'd like to vote on it as a slate with everyone on it, unless there are any objections. All right, hearing none, seeing none. Do we have an action? Well, I will make the action to vote on approving of the appointments for each of these individuals onto their respective task force and committees. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Sani. We'll just do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, still not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson, still not present. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate everyone's volunteer and support. Congratulations. Welcome to the committees and task forces. With that being said, we are at the final item, which is to adjourn. It is 8:40 p.m. Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, April 21st at 7 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your time. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.